Hi everyone, I am Avinash Sikoli, working as assistant professor in Department of CSE at St. Martin Engineering College. Today I am discussing the topic about structures in C programming. But before going to the topic, what is the purpose of the computers? You have to take the introduction about the computers, then you are going for the topic of structures. So, for going to the definition of structures, so, what is the purpose of the computer? Computer is an electronic device, but what is the main intention to invent the computer is because the calculator is there, but calculator can't store the information about the calculations once you done the operation like addition or subtraction or multiplication. But you need a one storage device is there. That storage device is nothing but an here the computer is. So, first of all, who invented the computer? That is Charles Babbage. Father of computer is the Charles Babbage, but he's died at 1871. But the introduction of the computer is introduced in the 1948. But what is the scenario and relation between these two? Charles Babbage is designing the analytical computer in the and giving the formula about the computer system. But the main introduction of the computer from the Manchester University in the 1948 by the Tom Kindle and Frederick Williams. That storage device, it can store the value of each and every variable. How they are storing the value of each and every variable? There is a declaration of data type. What is the data type is? Suppose if you want to perform some addition operation like a plus b, okay, a plus b, if you given the value called a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 3, so you are storing the value 2 in a and storing the value b is equal to 3. That means you are storing the integer value a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 3. Before going this one, you have to go for declaration like integer int a comma b. But how many values I can store? I can store only one value. So it is only the problem with the integer, that is you can store only one value. Suppose the person want to store multiple number of values, how you can go to the multiple number of values? The concept name is called array. Array can store the multiple number of values. Multiple number of values means it are declaring the value called a of 5. Suppose what is the meaning of a of 5 means I can store 5 elements. Now integer can store, that means what is the meaning of this one? A can store how many elements here? That is 4 bytes of information. B can store 4 bytes of information. In this 4 bytes of information, I can store 2, I can store 3. Not only 2 and 3, you can take the numerical value either 1000 or 2000 or 1500. But how many numerical values I can store? That is only one value only. So this is the main problem within single integer variable. So to avoid that, you are going for an array. So array is can store the collection of elements. But what type of elements? Collection of similar type of elements. Collection of similar type of elements. So similar type of elements means I can store 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means I can store multiple number of values here. Multiple number of numerical values you can store because I given the size is a of 5 here. So a of 5 means what is the meaning of this a of 5? A of 5 is generating some structure. Indexing starts from 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. I can store the values 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. But what is the problem with this array is I can store only the integer values only. I can't store the different type of values like one integer, one float, one integer, one float, one character. I can't store here. To avoid that, we are going to the concept called structures. The concept is called structures. The structures can store the multiple number of values but different types here. That is the main intention of I am designing this topic because array can store the multiple number of elements but it can store only the similar type of elements. But array structure can store multiple number of elements but different type of elements here. That is the main intention of taking the structure. And next one, structure is an user defined data type and structure can store the multiple number of records. What is meant by record? I will show in the form of real time example and I will show in the form of presentation. Just see here. Definition: structure in C is user defined data type that enables us to store the collection of different type of types. See, that is the definition here. What is the problem with an array is array can store only similar type of elements. Structure can store only different type of elements. That is called an heterogeneous and homogeneous. Some definition is there, but similar type of elements is called array. Different types of elements is called structure here. So see the syntax: struct tag and member 1 and member 2 and member 3 and struct is required as a C keyword. So what is the meaning of this one? Suppose this is one Excel sheet. In this Excel sheet, I want to store one information about the student, that is their roll number and section here. So first of all, see this name, student Microsoft Excel is there. That is the student. The name of the file is called the structure name here. The name of the file is called structure name. That's why you have to declare that struct student. Okay. Next one, I want to store the value called roll number and section. This is called a column information. Roll number and section. This is comes under structure here. See this one, the part of declaration. Struct student, that is my syntax. And next one, open that one, int roll number. This is my heading, roll number. That means I'm writing the declaration of int roll number, and care of section. I'm writing the care of declaration of section here. See, one thing you have to understand in the structure is, what are the headings you are declaring, that you have to declare in the form of structure, but the values you must be assigned in the form of main function. You have to give the values from the main function, but you have to assign declaring the variables. What are the columns are there? That column headings must be declared in the structure here. The name of the file is called a structure name. So the syntax is struct of tag name, then you have to declare the int roll number and care of section. That means the roll number is an heading and section is also a heading. But how we can assign the values, sir? How we can give the values? That means when you want to enter any value in the Excel sheet, you need a cursor here. So what is the cursor in the structure programming? That you have to understand. So just you have to declare, you have to see in the next slide. See this one. I already explained. Struct student is my file, and int roll number is my heading, and section is my heading here. This is the part of only the information of roll number and section. Only the one thing is, I want to assign the values. What is my roll number? What is my section? That means if you want to assign any value in the Excel sheet, you need a cursor. If you want to assign any value from the program, from the structure is, you must declare an object. That object is nothing but an, see here, int main. That means you have to write the int main. Next one, what is the name of the file? Struct student. That means you have to write the struct student, and you have to creating one cursor name is called S1. This S1 is called an object. This S1 is called an object. Why you are creating the S1? There is a rule that you have to write an S1 means you can write any name, or you can write any name, but the point here is you must write that object because I want to access this roll number, I want to access this section. That means if you want to give the roll number called 45, if you want to give the roll number called A section, if you want to give the roll number of 56, I have to give the section name called B section. If you want to write this information, you need a cursor in the Excel sheet. That type of cursor you have to declare in the object in the form of structure here. So that object declaration is called S1. But remember, you must write the what is the structure here, struct of student. You must write that one. Then you can give the space and creating an object, that is S1 here. Now, see that one. Next one, how to assign the values. Up to previously I am showing how to declare the structure. Next one, how to declare the cursor. Now I am assigning the value. How I am assigning the value to the roll number and section here. See the step by step carefully. It is a very simple concept here. So first of all, the first step is write the struct student. This one is struct student, and next one is write the heading roll number and section, because that's my columns are roll number section. But one thing you have to remember is don't assign any value. Don't assign any value when you write in the structure, because as a Excel sheet, we are not writing any value here like section is equal to and roll number is equal. These are only the headings. Headings part only you have to write in the structure. Don't assign any value in the structure. But where you have to assign the value? From the main function. How to assign the value? By creating an object. So you are creating int main, then I am writing the struct student of S1. This is my object. With the help of object, I am assigning the value. But here one concept name is called dot operator. The concept name is called dot operator. What is a dot operator? Dot operator means if you want to call any variable, from the structure, you must use the dot. So see this one, in this line, S1 dot roll number is equal to 13. S1 dot roll number is equal to 13 means because S1 is my object and dot is my dot operator, and what is my variable name? Roll number is my variable name, and assign the value called 13. Next, I want to assign the character of section. If you want to assign any value to the section, then you have to write S1 dot section is equal to B. Okay. I want to print the value. I want to print the value means if you want to print the value, so what is my 13 here? It is my integer value. So this is the integer value means you have to declare in the form of %d. You can ask, sir, what is the role of %d? So percentile D means there is a role of two translators are there, compiler and interpreter. You know that one the value is integer, but how the system knows? If you want to assign any value like integer, the system must understand that I want to print the value in the form of integer. That information must be given with the form of percentile D. That means the system can understand that percentile D means okay, this person is required the value in the form of integer. That's why I'm writing the percentile D, because I want to send the information to the system. I need the value to print in the form of integer. So percentile D, percentile C, percentile F and percentile LD. Why I am writing this format specifiers means because the system can't understand directly what is the value required. That information you are passing to the compiler. I need the value in the form of integer. I need the value in the form of float. I need the value in the form of character. For this information, you are writing the format specifiers here. So percentile D, you are writing that S1 dot my number and next one is S1 dot my letter. And next one, see here another example. Suppose if you want to assign some name, previously I am assigning only the character. That means only one letter. Suppose if you want to assign some name, how to give the values, assign the value directly. Okay, how to assign the value without using the dot operator, without using the any value here. So struct of my structure, I will write the program in the form of Excel sheet. Suppose struct of my structure. What is the meaning of this one? There is an Excel sheet is there. There is an Excel sheet is there. There are multiple number of Excel sheet lines are there. This is my Excel sheet. Okay. The file name is of Excel sheet is my structure. That means this file name is called my structure. Now, int my number. Int my number is nothing but the column heading. My column heading is my number and next column heading is my letter and next column heading is my string. Okay, these are the three fields: my column letter, my letter, my number, and my string. So I already said that is only the heading. Structure is only for giving the headings of the column. Don't assign any value. My structure declaration is completed. Now I want to assign the value of what is my number. What is my number here? 13 is my number. So assign 13 here. And next one B. B is my character. And next one is some text is my string. And now see here, percentile D, percentile C and percentile S. Percentile D is for integer and percentile C for character and percentile is for string and assigning the value in the form of dot operator. Okay. And next one, program execution. Now see this one. I am using the online GDP for executing this program. In this program, hash include stdio.h and string.h is there. Remember one thing, string.h, without using the string.h, the string manipulation functions won't be work. Okay, and stdio.h is for giving the input output functions. All the input output functions are stored in the stdio.h, that is standard input output.h. And next one, struct of my structure, int my number, int char of my letter and char of my string of 30. So what is the meaning of my string of 30? Means I can store 30 characters. I can store 30 characters and my letter and my number, that is I already explained about it. That is in Excel sheet. I require that my number and my letter and next one and my string. So in this one 30 my number and my letter and string.h. In this one I want to assign the values here. Right? Struct of my struct 13b previous example and b is my character and sum of text and I am assigning that my number is equal to 30. So see here, sir, you are assigning 13 here, you are assigning 30 here. What is the final output? The final output of the program is, one thing you have to understand is what is my last assigning value. My last assigning value is my number is equal to 30 is my last assigning value. That's why the final output is 30 only. It is not 13 here. And next one, my letter is C here and string copy of C. Normally, if you want to assign any value, suppose A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 6 and A is equal to B, then what is the output of A means A is equal to 6 only. But in the string, it is not possible like this. In the string, it is not possible. That is very, very important concept. When you want to copy any value, when you want to assign any value from one variable to another variable, you have to understand one thing is you must use the string copy function. So string copy function you must use if you want to copy from one file to another file. That means without using the string copy, if you're writing like this, like s1 dot my string is equal to s1 dot my string is equal to suppose csc, this is a wrong declaration, because numerical value can directly like s1 dot number and s1 dot name. But if you want to assign any value to the string, don't write like s1 dot my string is equal to csc. This is the wrong format. If you want to assign any value, you must use the string copy function. If you're not using the string copy function, automatically the program is error. Okay, so s1 dot my string is equal to something else. This is the right declaration. If you're writing the same program like s1 dot my string is equal to something else, this is wrong format. So please carefully you have to see in that one, because you're storing the entire record here. Don't write like my string is equal to something here, because you must use the copy function when you write in the structure variables here. So next one, multiple records. See, up to now explaining about only single record. That means I'm declaring one column and I'm assigning the value like a like 13, 14, 15. But multiple values are there. How we can assign? So see this example. This one is important. There is a one student name is called, that is roll number and name of 30, and next one is percentage. I want to store some record called 65 students. In a section there is 65 students are there. I want to store some result about what is the percentage of marks, what is the name, what is the roll number of each and every student. How we can assign? 65 students I want to require to store the data. So 65 students, if you want to store the data, you must use the for loop is the condition, because one by one you can't store. If you write in the one by one concept, the length of the program is increases, then automatically the program is not good. Remember, when you want to give any programming subject, you must write the code with the minimum number of lines, then it is called a good programming. If you're given the maximum number of lines, it is not a good program. That's why you're going for the concept called loops here. In this one, you already know about the roll number, name and percentage, because I need the student information in an Excel sheet. It consists of a section is consists of 65 students. The headings are roll number, next one name, and next one percentage. In this Excel sheet, I want to store the one by one information from 1 to 65. One by one you can't store. That's why you're using the for loop here. So one thing you have to understand is, already you know about this one. I create in the file name is called student. Now in this one, see here, struct student of s of 100. What is the meaning of this one? The size of the 100, that means object I'm creating for 100. Here 100 students I can store, but I given the maximum as array, but I can store only the 65 students. So int I, for I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 65 and I plus plus. So already you know about the for loop. The first step is I is equal to 1. And next step is I less than 65, 1 less than or equal to 65. And next one, don't go to the I plus plus, that is the wrong format, because I is equal to 1, 1 less than or equal to 65. The next step is going to the body of the loop. So body of the loop means, see here, s of I dot roll number. S of I dot roll number means you are given that s of I means what? I is equal to 1, right? That means roll number 1 student details I am storing that. Once I 1 dot roll number means roll number 1 like 24K series is 01. And next one, s of I dot name. S of I dot name, like if you taken that Suresh, and percentage of marks is suppose I given that 65. Okay, that is one roll number is completed. So that is my first student. Next one is I plus plus. I plus plus means I is equal to 2. I is equal to 2. Again you have to check the condition, 2 less than or equal to 65. That means I am assigning the value called 2 less than or equal to 65 to 24K8, that is 01. I am suppose I am writing that Ramesh, and percentage is 70. So in this way, assigning the value, that is s of I dot roll number, s of I dot name, and s of I dot percentage. You can ask that why you are not writing the percentage ampersand for this one strings. It will not be directly accessing in the form of ampersand. The no need of writing the ampersand symbol. Ampersand is representing the address of the variable. Already know about it. And string dot h. And if you want to store multiple number of records with the help of structure, you can go through this one. Like using the for loop, you can store the multiple number of records. If you want to store only one variable, you can directly assign that dot operator like s1 dot name and s1 dot roll number and s1 dot my number. Okay, these are the things for one declaration and multiple number of declaration. Now, previously I am explaining about that structure is an user defined data type. So sir, you are given that structure is user defined data type, but what is this user defined data type? Already integer, float, character I know. What is this user defined data type? One thing you have to understand here. One thing you have to understand. So suppose normally in a program, if you're writing that hash include std io.h, next int main, next one int a comma b comma c. Suppose a is equal to 5, b is equal to 6 and c is equal to a plus b, and printf percentage d comma c, then return 0. Okay, this is the concept of normal addition of two numbers. Already you know about it. Addition of two numbers program here. See here, when you're writing that int is a predefined, and this is a predefined data type, that is integer value, can store that variables in the form of a comma b comma c. See the declaration of main function here. Here also I am writing that variable called struct of my structure here. Struct of my structure means it is also similar to the integer or not. It is also similar to integer or not. Like it is also declaring like a data type or not. That means user defined data type means how the integer, float, character, double and long double is there. Similar to that, you can create your own data type. How you can create your own data type means with the help of structure here. Suppose here struct of my struct. So suppose if my structure is in the form of struct of student like int roll number. Let us take example. Int roll number. Suppose int main. How you can access that roll number? First of all, you have to write that struct of student, right? Struct of student. Then only you can write the variable called suppose s. That means this part comes under user defined data type. It is like an int of s only. It is like an float of s only. That means how the integer, float and character is there, and there is a like that. Here you are creating the user defined data type called struct of student. That means I can create your own data type here. If you are creating your own data type, that type of data type is called user defined data type. Okay, that is called an user defined data type. So now, what is the disadvantage of structure here? What is the main disadvantage of structure here is, see, I am writing that int my number, char of my letter and string of 30. Okay, suppose I am writing the name called employee, struct of employee. I am writing that int employee ID, float salary, and next one char, suppose designation like A grade, O grade, like A category, B category, like that. How much memory is allocated for int AID, float, and next one char? See here is the size of integer is 4 bytes, the size of float is 4 bytes, and size of character is 1 byte. But what is the size of memory of struct employees? It is given the 12 bytes, because that is called structure padding. So 12 bytes means, because what is my highest size here? 4 bytes. So structure, what it will do is, it is assigning the same size to the integer, same size to the character. That's why the output of the structure is assigning the memory location in the form of first one, second one, in the form of this one is also 4 bytes, this one is also 4 bytes, and this one is also 4 bytes. That is the main problem. That means it is given that unnecessarily memory is wastaging in the structure here, because character can store only 1 byte but is given the 4 bytes. Okay, that's why there is a concept called structure and union. Difference is there. Structure union can give only one memory location which is consists of highest bytes, but structure is given that multiple number of that means same value can be assigned to the each and every different type of data types here. That is the difference between the structure and the union. The difference is the memory allocation, and the union problem with the union is different type of data types. If you are assigning, the last value will be the print. So that is the problem with the structure. There is an advantage is different types of elements you can store, and advantage is you can declare your own data type. I can store the multiple number of records, right? So I will show in the form of real-time example through the video. See this one scenario is there. One scenario here, the scenario is one granddaughter is there. The granddaughter want to go to the his one village. You want to visit that. How many number of there is a farmer land is there. See this one, farmer land is there. In that land, there are multiple number of goats and multiple number of hens and multiple number of dogs are there. Okay, multiple number of dogs and ducks are there, and there is a one sheep is there. So what is the difference in this video? What is the real time example in this video is, previously there is different type of animals, different type of pets are there, but here is only consists of sheep are there. There is a difference here. Only the sheep are there means this is called an array. Only the sheep, but different type of element, different types of pets are there, that is comes under structure. See this one. In this scenario, one see here. In this scenario, goat, ducks are there, different elements are there, horses are there, and all these are there. In this one, all are different type of elements. This comes under the example of structures. This is the comes under example of structures here. And see this one. Okay, structures here. Different type of goats and different type of animals and different type of hens are there. So this is comes under definition of structure in that real time example. And next one, only sheep are there. This is comes under array. Okay, only similar type of elements, and that is the difference here. What is the structure here? Homogeneous. What is the meaning of homogeneous? Homogeneous means similar type of elements, and next one is heterogeneous, that is a different type of elements. This example is comes under structure, and previous example is comes under array. We can connect this program in the form of programming language, this concept in program language. Yeah, it is about the structure and array here. So what is an array? Array is a kind of data structure that store homogeneous collection of data. Homogeneous means similar type of data here. So see the previous example at the starting of the video, given that array, how it can store 12, 6, and next one 25, and next one 10. So only similar type of elements I am storing. I am not storing the different type of elements. Now what is structure here? Heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means different type of elements. How we can store integer, float, character, any type of elements I can store. So see this one. Example, struct student of char of 20, integer and float here, CGPA. So in this example, I can store that character can store, integer I can store, and float I can store. So phone contact book contains, see this example in the real time example, phone contact book consists of name, work and place and phone number. You can take the example of real time of structures here. So the main thing here is structure, array and union. We can use any type of data type for storing the elements. There is a difference is homogeneous elements and heterogeneous elements. Homogeneous elements are similar type of elements, heterogeneous elements are different type of elements here. So the problem with the array means you can store only similar type, means you can't store one type of record. Like in a record, it may consist of name is there, ID is there, roll number is there, and next one percentage is there. Percentage are required the float, and this one name are required in the form of character, and integer I am required in the form of ID, and the name I am required in the form of string. These type of records you can't use for the arrays. Arrays is only for doing for matrix multiplications or different type of elements. Huge amount of information of similar type I can do, but I can't do with the help of different type of records. So different type of records, if you read, if you have to go for structure only. Sir, you can go for union. Yes, you can go for union, but it is giving only one memory location. That's why you're going for structure here. Structure you can store the similar type of elements, different type of elements, and array can store the similar type of elements, and union can store the different type of element but giving only the one memory location. So here the concept of total structure here, but there is a concept of structure using the pointer. But main thing here is one, keep a note, structure values you can store. The here is the conclusion. Structure values can be accessed with the help of dot operator. Dot operator, that is the main advantage. First one, you have to use the dot operator, but means don't assign any value. Don't assign any value when you're declaring the structure. When we're declaring the structure. And next one, structure, you can store entire record. In the real-time example, in a real-time example, structure you can store for the multiple number of students, multiple number of employees in the form of programming concept. So the main advantage of this one is you can store the different type of elements. And next one, memory location is also high. The only disadvantage is more number of wastages happen. So hope you understand this concept about the structure and the difference between the structure and the array and difference between the structure and the union. Thank you.